Good morning to all of you. This side Nisha Gupta from Committee on Public and Government Financial Management of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I welcome all the viewers to the webinar on role of internal controls in enhancing transparency and accountability in government. This webinar is part of series of webinar on good governance system in government, and it is the fourth one in the series. Our today's speaker is CA Suman Chaudhary, who is having expertise in public finance and government accounting, and CA Naveen Garg sir, he is a co-opted member of committee and also a moderator of today's webinar. Before going further, just to give you a brief background about the committee, that is, committee is actively involved in improving accounting and financial management system across all levels of government in India, including local bodies. It is also engaged in sensitizing government officials through workshops and e-training modules, providing technical inputs to Government Accounting Standards Advisory Board in India and International Public Sector Accounting Standard Board internationally, offering certificate course of public finance and government accounting. This course also permitted to the officials of autonomous bodies working under the administrative control of ministries of either central or state government to enroll for this course on the request of several departments, as well as committee formulating accounting standards for local bodies. Apart from this, we have collaborated with Office of Comptroller and Auditor General of India and launched certificate course for accountants of panchayats and municipal bodies to provide trained accounting manpower to panchayats, municipal bodies readily available even at remote locations. Any person who is at the age of 18 plus years of age and 12th pass in any stream can register for this course online through a dedicated website at nominal fee, that is rupees 500 plus GST. The committee is actively involved in developing study materials, pre-recorded revisionary video lectures, and model test papers for the certificate courses and also coordinating with Office of CNAG. Apart from this, the committee also organizes trainings in vernacular languages, that is Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, etc., for various government departments from time to time. Now I welcome to CA Naveen Garg sir. He is also a moderator of this webinar. Sir is qualified CA in November 1999 exam with 34th All India rank. At present, he is practicing in Guwahati. Served as a treasurer, secretary, vice chairman, and chairman during the year 2012 and 13 of Guwahati branch of ICI. Under his chairmanship of branch and students body, Guwahati branch of ICI won various national and regional awards. Welcome to the sir. And now over to you, sir.
Good morning to all. On behalf of ICI, I welcome you all to this fourth webinar on role of internal controls in enhancing transparency and accountability in government, that is being organized by the Committee and Government Financial Management as a part of series of webinar on the theme Good Governance System in Government. I am pleased to welcome our esteemed chairperson. I'm sorry to say that our esteemed chairperson and vice chairman of CPGM, CA Kemisa Soni and CA Prasanna Kumar could not join due to the council work. About the program today, in the realm of governance, transparency and accountability are fundamental principles that underpin public trust and confidence. Governments worldwide are entrusted with the responsibility of managing public resources effectively, making informed decisions and ensuring equitable service delivery. However, ensuring these principles are upheld requires more than just legislative frameworks and policy declarations. It necessitates robust mechanisms that enforce compliance and promote ethical conduct within government operations. Internal controls form a critical part of government audits. Auditors evaluate the effectiveness of those internal controls in safeguarding assets, preventing frauds, and ensuring compliance with law and regulations. This review encompasses policies, procedures, and practices to identify any weakness or deficiency that may pose risk to the organization. I'm confident that today's webinar will provide a comprehensive overview of internal control, highlighting their importance in enhancing transparency and accountability within government operations and reinforcing the principles of good governance, and will offer a valuable learning experience for all participants. I once again welcome you all for joining in today's webinar. Now, a brief introduction of our today's speaker, CA Suman Chaudhary. CA Suman Chaudhary is a fellow chartered accountant and currently a special invitee on the committee. He is a guest faculty of Administrative Training Institute, Government of West Bengal, Regional Training Institute, CAG, National Institute of Technical Teachers Training and Research, Calcutta, and faculty identified through FIP of Indirect Tax Committee of ICAI for GST for Eastern Region. He served as the ERC of ICAI as co-opted member of various committees in the last 10 years and currently co-opted member of the PDC of EIRC of ICAI. He is a immediate past president of Institute of Internal Auditor, Calcutta chapter. CA Suman Chaudhary is practicing chartered accountant since 2011. He was a member of steering committee of CCCBA, cultural secretary and vice president of CCCBA, and the deputy convener of Salt Lake City Chartered Accountant Studies Circle, ERC of ICAI. With these words, we welcome CA Suman Chaudhary and request him to deliberate on the topic. Thank you.
Good morning all, and thank you Naveen and Nisha for every introductions. And though we will be missing our chairman and the vice chairman, also the president and the vice president on their absence here, thanks to them for initiating and to plan this type of programs that can be have a greater help for the government at large and also for our fraternity, and also create scopes for this type of new avenues which can be a part of our scope of work in the new coming years. And also they have started the courses for which I have also taken that courses, and I'll request other CA fraternities to take up the courses. They're very beautifully crafted, and people who are eager to work on these urban local body fields is an exhaustive list, and there is a good set of faculties for that. And with this very good morning. So today my topic is internal control in government sectors and government perspectives. So I'll now share my PPT. Naveen, please confirm whether my PPT is being projected properly or not. Just a minute.
Yeah, PPT is visible, Sumanji.
It is visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
All right. Thank you, Naveen. So today we'll have in a brief 1.5 hour sessions on this role of internal controls in enhancing transparency and accountability in Indian government. With a brief history, we all know as a citizen of India, our every demand is that we should have a transparent and accountable government at all sectors. As per the 73 and 74th Amendment, there are three tiers of government. One is the central, whether the state, and another is the urban local body and the panchayat bodies. So whether in which layer we live in, we are also a part of that, all the three layers, whether it's a panchayat, the state government, or the central government, or is the urban local bodies at the state government and the central government. We as a citizen always ask for that we do have the transparency and accountability in the government sectors. And also government is at all levels of the government is thinking to that with how to make the entire thing very transparent and to put a accountability and responsibility on the persons which are responsible for taking forward these accounting procedures. And on this part, so transparency is a bigger term. Transparency means we all love the word transparent, but we don't know how to be a transparent like a water. that can be seen this way to other way, or we should be transparent as a way the SOP is formed. This every organization should have a standard operating procedure. So transparency is that we should follow the accounting operating procedure, the ethics, and the other things, and also for the accountability, it is always for the part of recording and how it is been taken forward through. So by this way, we'll coming through this part. So there are three pillars in this. One is the government part and the government servant part. Another is the citizen at large. So with these three pillars, and if we take as another pillar is that the society at large, that is the social media, that is the now social audit is coming into concern, other bodies, other agencies which are looking into it, other reporting agencies from national or international level. We see anything happening in a day or within a fractions, it is get highlighted in the social media. So you can say there is one pillar that is coming up, that is the social media, the social awareness, or any other agencies. Many of the agencies through the social auditors or through other mechanism, they are coming into play. So we must so basically, so what is the purpose of this? To how to enhance transparency and accountability in Indian government through internal control. And importance it ensure efficient use of resource and effective service delivery and maintain public trust. So what is that I wanted to say, that SOP, that is that there should be a standard operating procedure, and that procedure should be effective. We must not think of a procedure which cannot be maintained, or which and by large is a robust one, which may be means it may be very much heavy on the head. So it must be a simple standard operating procedure which should be maintained. And to main, these are all to objective is to maintain public trust. So measure is the measure that we have to gain public trust in it. So the key concept is that internal controls, procedure of financial integrity, and fraud prevention. So if we go for a fraud is the ultimate word which can say that the entire thing is not done in a way, or there is a malified intention through which the entire thing was processed, and it was in such a way that it ended up in a fraud. So anything with a malified intentions comes out to a fraud, but there may be something mistakes on a part, which is the regular procedure, which is, we can say, is a normal loss. Because in any process we do there may be a mistake. Whenever there is a mistake with a malified intentions, or do something wrong, or which have been planned in such a way that will give a financial benefit to a certain sector, a certain person, so this is called a fraud. So our main intentions will be through the internal control is that we get our financial integrity and to prevent the fraud. So what is transparency? It openness and clarity of informations. Transparent means you must that SOP is not a book, a red tape thing which is only known to the officers at large. Transparency means any procedure, how it will work, who will be involved, who are the persons who are doing the work, everything will be very transparent. Nowadays, you will see that whenever there is an work going on for a road, train, or for any other government money is involved, they'll put up a placard or a signboard where it says that what is the amount which has been involved in this project, who are the persons who are monitoring the project, and who is the ultimate beneficiary to the project, and also the amount of financial involved and the timeline. Another main thing of transparency and of any work to be done in a proper way is the timeline. So now, for being a transparency is the openness and clarity of information. Now we see that in this scenario, data is the oil of the new era. But so much of data is also creating confusion. We should have a clarified and searching data which may be meaningful, with some parameters and some dimensions that we can we put our brain on it and see that how it works. So to be a transparent, we should be openness and clarity of information, and then comes the accountability, holding officers responsibly for their actions. It is not that you do this, you do that, and anybody doing that anything that is not, I do not know who have done the job, I do not know how it has been executed. I have only asked to monitor it, but I have no responsibility whether work has been done properly or not. So accountability is a major part. So it will be holding officers responsible for their actions. Yeah. So what is basically internal control? Internal control is a systematic measures of efficient operations, safeguarding asset, accurate data, and policy adherence. That means internal control, as I have told, that there should be an SOP. So there should be an SOP, and that policy and the work should be adhered to the guideline or the framework. If you say for government of India or the government of the states, or whether for the urban local bodies, any fund which been allocated or been given for any of the work are having a set line of time frame, set line of asset creation, set line of protocol, set line of tender procedure, set line of process, the process involved, and the DPRs are also involved. So internal control is a systematic measures for efficient operations. That means we have to look whether the operations shall be efficiently done or not. It is not that always the correct operations is efficient operation. We must understand the basic difference between the efficient operations and proper operations. When is a proper correct operation means that it has been done as per the book, what are the law book says. But efficient operation is that with the limited resources which you have utilize your expertise or your efficiency to the highest level, that it comes from the limited resources, it outcomes with the maximum effect. So it is an efficient operations and safeguarding asset. Means in the due course, what we are creating some of the assets. So our main objective is to safeguard the asset, and we should have an accurate data and the policy adherence. So what are the key components? It is a control environment. That means it has, the organization must be set a tone, and they should have integrity and ethics. Means when the top up says that all the things have to be done with ethics, that means that the organization has set a tone that anything which is unethical would not be tolerated, and it should have a integrity of or ownership of, you should have you be honest in yourself to doing any set of works. So the main thing is that it should have a control environment, and we should have make the risk assessment, and then we should have control activity, and then information and communications, and then it is the monitoring part. So line by line, if you go into the details, we had to discuss that what is a control environment, and then is the risk assessment. Always anything which is to be operated or to be done on the field basis does not match with the SOP, or does not match with the DPR, or any of the plan which you have executed. Say, for example, if you are setting up a pipeline, which you have a SOP that 3-inch pipeline will be replaced by 5-inch pipelines, and the entire pipelines will be require a 1,000-meter work around, and it will require 3 sockets and other machines. But in the process, when you dig up the land, you can find out that there are certain nature which have not been planned in prior. That is the risk which has been involved. If you get through a pipeline for water underground, a drainage system, it may be a risk for the water to be contaminated and not to be used for the proper purpose why the water pipeline is laid out. So we must identify that it may be the route or the SOP or the planning which they have set forward cannot, may be deviated. But we must identify and we must prioritize the risks. What is the risk involved? If we do the work, and if you divert the work, and what are the basic ingredients, what are the monetary involvement, what is the other parameters, the risks involved. So now coming to the control activity actions like approvals and verification, it must have not only one layer of communications, it should have multiple layer of communications. As you know, in the government sectors, whenever there is a financial plan, there is always a financial barrier up to which a layer of level of officers has the authority to authorize a payment or to make a payment. So before or to execute any work, like if his work is going on under the supervision of the waterworks inspector, he must, if he wants to divert this pipeline and says that this is to be this is after the land has been excavated, it is found out that the internal drainage system is there on which the pipeline cannot be planned out. So he must take an approval from his higher authority, means he will have his departmental waterworks engineer, or maybe if the waterworks engineer says that this is type of a decision which involves so much of financial or so much of criticality, where verification from his then is not possible, so it may be taken up to the higher authority, like he could go to the chief waterworks engineer or any appropriate authority, or a group of board, where whatever board it may be they plan upon, or they may think fit. So another is information and communications. See, we have all played Damsarad in our younger days. We had heard how Damsarad is a divert our what we actually wanted to communicate, and it actually ended up in what type of communication. So communications and information are very effective thing that it may properly flow in. See, if at every layer, if any decimal point of zero had been added in every figure, or every zero is reduced at every figure, you can think of what an information will flow up to the upper level. So you must be very much cautious about the information you are passing through, and you should have the effective communication skill. That means in government sectors we see that always there is a note sheet. All the decisions have been written off through a note sheet. Now electronically note sheet has been planned. Now electronically all the note sheet has been means there is a layer of authority who gives the approval, and that's why you should be effectively communicated, because you are at the lower level, people are working in the field, but at the higher level people are not working at the field. If your communication is not proper, it may end up of a decision which may turn out to a wastage of money, or a wastage is, that's we have said, it is not be an efficient operations procedure. So communication is one of the major part. Another part is monitoring. See, nowadays a post-mortem audit report is thing of the going to be a past. It's already become a past, and in the coming future it will be totally a past. It is now will be a real-time monitoring thing. Real-time audit will be there, a time basis, because nothing of a past when things have already been happened, nothing to be done after that, only for the reporting purpose only. So regular performance assessment. So internal audit is getting priority day by day, because it is a regular activity. It is a regular sphere, that it is on a real-time basis. It is not that as a statutory thing that it will come after 6 months, 3 months, 4 months, abide by the law, verification will be done. But monitoring and regulations will be done on a real-time day basis. So for anything happening very good, whether you see when you are having your own child, many of the time teachers say that you do not monitor your child, so your child is not performing well. So monitoring at every level is a major part. So what is the importance of internal control? So what we have asked that today is to roll about the internal control. Ensuring internal control, we have said that it is ensuring efficient and effective operations. So what is efficient and effective operation? When you have told that this will be done in this way, that means if it is achieved in that way, it is called efficient. And effective means if there is like a we done part CPM, we have done the work of sums of part CPM. So what is that tell? What is the maximum period and what is the minimum period? And through which because it is a conglomeration of all the multiple type of work. It is not that is a one work. Like say you are putting up a water pipeline, so it will requires the civil engineers, because they will be digging up the land and then layout where it will be going through. It is about the efficiency of the effectiveness and efficiency of the water work engineers or the inspectors, and also the material who verifications of the material inspector, and all these things will be effectively used, so to ensure efficiency and effective operations. And then is the safeguarding public assets. See, this is a very example of cement, because whenever we purchase this cement or bituminous, these are the two things which are being purchased in maximum level at the government sectors, because all it is involved with the infrastructure. Now these are the things which are very vulnerable to the weather. Means whether you can see that in a cement bag it gets solidified before it is put to use. So it is a mechanism not only to get the proper tender procedure to buy the product, it is also the responsibility of the internal control persons to look whether this asset has this cement bag or the bituminous have been properly stored in a proper area where it does not degrade its property. It is the safeguarding of the public asset, because it is not that it is not your homework that you purchase one bag of cement to do any of your small type of jobs. It is a ton and ton of cigarettes or cements or bituminous which have to be purchased prior hand. So at every level, it is not only the wastage, it is also there is always a ratio. There is a cement ratio and the all sand ratio to mixer. So this is a place where you have to find whether proper mixture which have been set forward, already set it, that this is the amount of cement to be used, whether they are used in the proper quantity. Quality is also a thing where there comes the safeguarding of public assets. So these all underlying assets, whether it is a rod, whether the bituminous, whether it's a cement, all the things, whether it is before putting into an asset, it is all to be safeguarded and kept in a proper way. So ensuring reliable financial reporting. So what is ensuring reliable financial reporting? Say you must be proper in reporting of the financial matters, whether it should be timely reported. Say how, because if what is the financial involves, because every data is ultimately end up with a financial report. Say whether the mistries are working in right time, whether your staff is coming at right time, or your staffing is doing the job, or whether he's many of the times absent or he's present on many of the times. So everything is related with the financial reporting. So to make a financial report reliable, all the data which are being created in the process are to be safeguarded and are to be taken care of. So next is that there is always a law. Compliance with the Indian law and regulation is Companies Act is the public sector companies, and also there is a public financial management system which says the protocol for which how all the government exchequers money should be made. So types of internal control, that is preventive control, detective control, and corrective control. What is preventive control? We know that prevention is better than cure. So we know whether the word is prevention is better than cure. So whenever you can prevent error or fault, is the most effective one. That is, you can see that there is a scope of rainfall, and your cement bags are lying in the open field. So preventive control is that you instruct your persons to move these cement bags to any control environment or to any godown where there is a less chance or there is a minimum chance of the cement getting solidified by the weather. So this is called an internal. This is called preventive control. Like, see, when you have seen that if you are going to dig open a well, it will entirely break down the entire water system, and that's why it will again create a huge amount of financial involvement, or it will take much time to repair the entire thing. So many of the times when our heart get blocks, what we do? We do a bypass operation. So prevention control is like that. If we can think and see forward that there is a chance that if I also maintain this SOP, there is a high chance that there will be an devastating effect after we do the job. So it is that before doing the job, we will take the preventive control. We buy the layer report, and whether we will take the decision whether to do or not. Another is the detective controls. What is the detective controls? Look, the day on operations of all the stores coming in, coming out, all have been recorded. So now is the time to reconcile. See, detective control is another mechanism which takes place after the real-time effect. But if we can detect at the very, the more faster we detect, the more faster we'll take up with the process that we can stop the stop any fraud or any occurrence to happen. So now classic example of detective control is BRS. Every quarterly or every monthly, why do you do our BRS? We do our BRS to find out is there is any financial fraud, or whether my checks which I have not deposited or which are lying in my hand and I am thinking that I have already deposited is to be found out all the reconciliation. Then this is one of the detective controls. It may be BRS of the stock. In major of the big fours, when they're heading or looking after major accounts of the multinationals, major of the jobs is of the BRS. They're not BRS, there's the reconciliations. The reconciliation of any respect, whether it is stock, whether it is creditors, whether it is debtors, whether it is sales, everything reconciliation. So for detective controls, we must look forward and do our reconciliations very meticulously and on proper time. Then is corrective control, designated the correctness, errors, or fraud. That we see, correctness is a method which should be is a short-term planning. It is not a long-term planning. Means, see, you have seen that as per the CV, you have appointed some of the storekeeper who is very efficient, or means his CV supports, he has working experience in so many other big organizations. So you have put him on the job as a storekeeper. Now you come to know that he is also having a medical issue, that he gets asleep in the daytime. So this is the corrective control. Means you have to correct that you must remove this person under that portion and place him any other place and put someone who is effective the day long. Because if we don't control at this point of time, after 4 or 5 quarter or 4 quarter, we can find out that there is a huge amount of malafide, because for everyday reconciliation is not possible. Everyday counting of physical stock is not possible. But due to the medical emergency of the storekeeper, who lies the whole day in his desk, so it is not possible for him to follow whether things have been properly happening or not. So this is the corrective control. You have to now replace this storekeeper from that position he is working right now. So this is the corrective controls. So now what are the frameworks and standards? So some of the standards which has been always been framed out is the COSO framework, that the committee sponsored what is the tradeway commissions, and the ISO are also been there, what is the International Standard for Risk Management, and the Indian standard and guidelines which is given by the institute that should be followed at every level. And not getting into details because today is not the place to discuss about the standards and the framework. So that will be another place we can think of. So now coming to the next one is so transparency in government. Firstly, we thought we all heard about internal control, everything. So now is transparency in government. Transparency refers to the accessibility of information and the openness of decision-making process in government. See, the classic example is that your own 26 AS or the MIS, AIS. And so what is now? What the government is saying? Government says previously what used to be, any information of the government used to be a top secret. Nothing information used to flow in from the government. Either you put up a PLI, or you go for any court case, then they will automatically give you the information. Otherwise, there was no procedures of getting information. See, right now, the government has thought of a transparency it at every level. See, for 26 years, even you are deducting TDS, the person from whom you are deducting TDS, whether he has given his return for the last 2 years has been reflected to you for deducting higher TDS. So each and this is not your personal information. This is information of your vendor. Means this information is now being given by the government to you, and it is given access to you. Even interdepartmental, all this information is flowing through. See, if you get a notice or whatever I say, love letter from any of the department, whether it's income tax, GST, excise, or even the state government, next and next you will again receive another intimation from other departments. That means that the government is now opening up all its information available to the beneficiary, available to the government sectors, even availability to the persons who are working with the beneficiaries. See, if you are having your Aadhaar card link with your income tax, even you take an example of your flight, you are flying through the flights. Now, face recognition, doors are opening. It is just a verification through your Aadhaar, and your Aadhaar is getting verified, and it is the your digital Jatra is being operated through an apps, and the way you are coming to the airport, it is automatically access you without looking into any of your hard copies of the of your information or your identity. See, this is how the transparency is being planned between the government sectors and the beneficiary. So now is that. So why it is so important in India? Building trust, reducing corruptions, and ensuring accountability. This is the buzzword of AD of the government, that they want to be building trust, reduce corruptions, and ensuring accountability. So this is one of the major tool how transparency can build trust to the public at large. So now we have known that the RTI Act, which is from the year 2005, is very effective, and it is given all the information they required. If it is not so secret or some importance, any informations, so this act provides you all the information for only a penny fees of ₹10, putting a stamp of ₹10 if you ask for any of the informations to any of the bodies. So many of the all of the government must have their right to information officers, to whom is the responsibility been fixed that any of the RTI letters are coming, you must go through the letters and put the information, get the information, and give the information in time. So accountability was always there. It is nothing of the new thing. Accountability was there. That is accountability of the government officers, agencies responsible for their actions and decisions. Previously, getting information was a bottleneckness. So for preparing a accountability report was also a timely method. But when now everything is getting to be online, or every information is available, so accountability is not any of the problem right now. But what is the relation between transparent support accountability by enable security of government action and expenditure? So accountability with transparency, what is the relationship? Transparency supports accountability by enabling security of government actions and expenditure. That means what I have told, for example, that sometimes we see that before a work is been done in a PWD road or in a water works or train, there is a banner or a placard going on, says that what is the amount involved, who are the person involved. So, and the amount involved, beneficiary involved, area involved, the length of the work involved. So much of simplicity of information is there. That is very much transparent and looking to be transparent. But transparent is not only one word. Transparent is a combination of so many your activities, which comes to the end up to a transparent. So if we enhancing and transparency through internal control, what we must do? We must do real-time reporting, which I have told that timely and accurate information discriminations is very much required. Open data initiative, sample like data.gov.in, clear documentation, detailed record of process and decisions. See, clear documentations means some of the times uh, we do take notes of our class teachers, and coming back after a few weeks, we cannot read our own handwriting and we cannot understand what we have recorded in the class. So it should be a clear documentations. Means not that you are recording certain length and not writing its denominations. Means you are writing 10, 15, 20. The 10, 15, 20, what does it mean? It is the minutes or the meter or the centimeter or the kilometer. So you must be very clear in your recording of procedures or recording of data. So clear documentation is a clear requirement. Open data initiative means whenever you any work is going on, you can open to the site. You can see what are the entire details, drawing, everything is available. So next is clear role and responsibility. Many of the times we can see that somebody say, "Sir, हम क्या करें? ये अपना तो ये this is not my outlook. I have not to see into it." So you have prepared a standard operating procedure, but we have not identified the person and we have not clarified his responsibility in that. And also not only responsibility, clear that if he is not doing his duty, what is the punishment involved in it? Or what is the outcome if he is not do by his duty, or the deviation is by such and such time, such and such parameters. So so it should be clear. The role and responses should be very clear. Means if you are storekeeper, the things of done by the storekeeper is to be clearly stated. It is not that you are giving a definition by a storekeeper, another one is inspector, but not only the main nomenclature of the post he is holding. It will not. It will be the clear indication that if you are a storekeeper, you have to look after the store of such and such department which is lying this and this area, and you have to take care of that. These are the things which is being taken care. These are the perishable goods. These are the standard goods. You have to follow ABC analysis. You have to give your flow of supply of goods as per the LIFO method, FIFO method, or anything should be very clear of. Because see, in a perishable goods, if we follow the rule of last in, first out, then the major goods will be destroyed in the store itself. So we must first in, first out. But some of the things that are heavier items, say you are having a block of iron, a sheet of iron, it is not a perishable one. And so it is, if you say that first in, first out, and all the sheet of tin is lying under one under the other. So now if you say the first in, the one which has come first will be under so many of layers of tin. So if you say first in, first out for that, then it will huge amount of labor will be involved, because then they have to remove all the tins from the above, then take out the tin which has been come first. So for that you can say that last in, first out. So you have to know what are the techniques and how have to give the parameters, because if you unfragmentally say the first in, first out, then it is very good for the perishable product or short-term product. But when which have a long life product, and it's heavier in size and heavier in volumes, so it will, if you give the instruction of first in, first out, so it will create a chaos among the store. And also you must say that what are the reporting, whom to report. You said that reporting at the day end, but do not say whom to report. You will just draft a mail and keep it in the draft mode, because you will say, "Sir, whom to mail? I do not know." So I have created my my mail and have kept in the draft mode. So everything should be clearly written and every response should be prefixed, because after you have floated the job, now you say that this comes your responsibility, this comes another your responsibility. Then the entire thing will be upward top up approach. It will not be down to up approach. So we must, whenever we are working on the field, there should be a both way. One is the top up approach, that means you created the policy and you take feedback from the ground level. then some modification may be required or must be required, which are to be given effective for the roles and responsibility. So another is regular audit and reviews. Many of the government agencies will find out CAG to आया नहीं sir. CAG makes two types of audit. One is for the urban local bodies and panchayat. One is the transaction audit. Another is the balance sheet audit. Many of the times it is seen that CAG audit is pending for 4 years, 5 years, even for the transaction audit. It may be taken into granted that for the balance sheet they have not yet prepared for preparation of balance sheet. As such, there is there cannot be any cash infringement, or there is no risk of getting some public asset lost. But for transaction audit is a very much requirement, because this is the audit which requires or finds out what are the tenders, whether tenders have been done in a proper way, whether they have taken all the papers required for the tenders, whether cash book has been written properly, cash has been deposited to bank, whether unrequired fund has not been withdrawn from the bank and kept with some of the officers or the policymakers for their private use. So transaction audit, if it gives 4 to 5 years delayed, it is just as delayed, is just as denied. So if we are doing audit for a yearly scenario audit after 4 years, so it will not be a effective audit. It's only a compliance audit. So now I think CAGs are coming up with the yearly basis. They are trying to do every audit of the every sectors to be on a yearly basis, but till now there is lag in the time gap. So government must find out any other mechanism, whether how to they can cope up these situations, that if the audit has delayed, the audit is denied. Because after 5 years doing an audit of transaction audit makes no sense. Even you are going for a transaction audit and you do, of a staff who has influenced 10 crores from your cash and bank account, and after he has retired for 2 years having no pension benefit, and you come and find that this person is who may be not anymore in this world, and you can find that 10 lakh rupee has been taken by him. So you cannot now pin him point and make him say that now we have find out. So it is your fault that you have not find out in a timely manner, in a timely way. So another is performance evaluation. So effectiveness and efficiently you have to do, that is, you have to do, not only you have to be 5 to 10 men, you must be you must not be a 10 to 5 man. Yes, you come at 10 and go from your office at 5, and you are saying that my performance is the best performance because I come dot at 10 and dot at 5 I leave my office. It should be your performance also. It is not your time. It is as good as your time as well your performance, both. So what I have already discussed is that the setting of tone at the top should be there. Leadership role is forecasting of the culture of integrity. Means it is the policy persons who should set the tone. Means ethical, it should be ethical, or it should be transparent, is a thought process of the upper level. And the follow-up is of the middle level, and what to be done is at the lower level. So ethical standard, integrity, promoting ethical behavior of the organization, Central Vigilance Commission guidelines, everything is there with the government online. So for any of the organizations, the setting the tone of the leadership is that whether it should be transparent or internal environment should be there, whether they want proper internal control should be effective. So the tone should be set by the top level management. So what is the role of the mid-level management? So the mid-level management job is to understand potential risks of any of the government operations, and then implementing risk mitigation strategies, developing plans to address identified risks. See, long back, I'll come up with the scenario. Checks was valid for 6 months. Then afterwards, in the year 2007, 8, it came 7, 8 or 10, it came with that check will be valid for 3 months. Then they said, till now, check is valid for 3 months. Previously, writing or overwriting of checks was allowed with an initial on it. and even the changing of date was allowed. Right now, not even a single line over the checks is allowed other than the check it is given. So why? And after that, now a circular has given by the government agencies that you pay all your expenditures through NEFT or RTGS. No using of these checkbooks. Why? See, if we come at an example, and it is a fact that previously all the fund was to be released on 31st March. Even the mid-level officers and the lower level officers didn't know what is the budget amount, what is the amount they want to get for this year, and what are the type for which they are going to make the expenditure, whether it is for the road, drain, furniture, fixture, training purpose, capacity building. Nothing was known in them. On 31st of March, all these urban local bodies used to make a camp at the Treasury building. On 31st March, it came to know that what are the total amount they are going to get and what are the total amount they want to disburse in one day. So for this, everything was planned in a back way. Means on 31st March, they came to know that they are going to get 100 crores. Out of the 50 crores for road, 30 for drain, 20 for furnitures. Now what they did, they go on a backward calculations. On backward calculations, they make entire expenditure by issuing a check on 31st March. The check was never issued to the recipient because on that day, they didn't know who are going to be the recipient. Whatever they did, they did a check. They told that I have issued a check of this amount. So issued a check is my expenditure amount. Because they will be lying in my BRS. And they had the procedure of changing the date. So they will, whatever date they write, they will again change the date. So these item will be lying with the BRS for years after years. But in the government scenario, the work has already been done. Though the work has not been done. Now, what they are doing that you have to make real-time payment, means RTGS or NEFT. Now, nobody will take the risk that they will pay to certain amount to certain person without the work being delivered. So now they are asking, sir, give us priorly what is our budget, what is the category of the amount which are to be spent for which department. So now, previously, only the central budget was a curiosity of the persons, of the every person. Budget means central budget. Even the state budget, they didn't even bother for the year urban local body budget. Even the commissioner or the chairpersons of the urban local bodies are not bothered about their budget because they know that 31st March they have only know their amount, and by the 31st they will have to make the expenditure. But right now, all their amount of the budget has been getting through the PMFSS portfolio. There have been seen if by 31st March they actually does not do the job and does not do the payment, the entire amount will be zero. Means that there is no balance lying on their bank account of any of the tied fund after a financial year. That will be automatically zero. So that means whether you make the expenditure or you forego the expenditure, because central government or state government makes the budget for 1 year only. If you are not making the expenditure in that budget, that will be again be reversed back and then taken care in the next budget. But some of the things are of a long term. Say whether you are planning for a metro rail or big projects, it is of yearly basis. So what the budget says, we have policy adapted that we will coming up with a rail project for which first year the amount of budget is this, second year your budget is this, third year your budget is this. That means you have to make your first year budget exhaust or make the entire work. But if your first year budget is not been exhaust, your balance will be next carry forward in the next budget. So now the next budget will think whether it is required to do the job or it is the abandoned project. So no fund will be carry forward. It will first be zero, again then adapted by the budget, and again this amount will be reflected for your second year budget. So now this is also a mechanism to implement this identify, analyzing risks and implement the risk mitigation strategies, that is, see, one of the risk mitigation strategy is the tender procedure. But in the process, we have seen that L1 is mostly risky. In government sectors, all tenders have been planned in a why in L1, because nobody with higher rate can get the job. That was a thought process 10 or 15 years back. That's why they have said that L1 is the tender person to whom you have to give the job. That means we are mitigating the risks that no excess payment is being made. But day and day, products are not getting simplified, they are getting complex. So now government through e-portal, what they are saying, no, now you're not required to make any tender. Already tender had been done at the central level and all the company has bidded and the rate has been fixed at the higher level. So only you have to purchase it from them, only go through and set by these parameters that this is the item you want to purchase. Please send, they will, like a Flipkart Amazon gateway, they are going to fix the vendor for which you have to get the product and the vendor will deliver to you. But now for this e-tendering process, if you are tendering from any service sector, it becomes more complex. So what they have done, they have told that you have given two parameters. One is the financial tender, one is that the technical tender. Means your technical bid you have to see, and technically evaluating officers will find out whether these persons who are technically viable, their financial bid will be taken care of. Other persons who are technically not viable, their financial bid will be not taken care of. Because for L1, it was seen that for a service sector, L1 persons may not be in a position to understand the work or even deliver the work. So for not having the entire concept or thought process of the entire work, they have just quoted a price. So now what the government have done, the not only quotation the price, you have to first be technically viable in the technical bid, then you are eligible for the financial bid. So this is the process how they are implementing risk mitigations. Now control activity. So, sir, do you? I know that nobody will find any policy and procedure book in any of the government organizations. This is the most highlighted books which will not be found out in any of the sectors. Because if you go in, have in your hand the policy and procedures of that organizations, it is very easy task to create your report, say which are the control activities which required to be controlled is not taken care of. They will say, sir, it was a 15-20 years back, we don't know. Sir, वो था, वो बीच में it required to be updated, कोई इसको update नहीं किया था. Sir, I am here for only 1 or 2 years. I do not find this book. Sir, I have no idea. No predecessors have given for this process in the government department. So now e-library is there, sir. Now, in any of the government fund audit, it was a very crucial for us as an auditor to find the government order. Even the department which does not be available, say government auditor, government geo to available nahi hai, sir. Government order is not available. Only the amount of fund is available and the name of the fund is available. Sir, what has been said? How much is the tight fund? Sir, सुनने में आया this is the amount of tight fund. So हम लोग इसका इतना tight fund कर दिया, इतना untight fund कर दिया. Sir, इसमें सुनने को आया इतना ही तो we can make an expenditure of capital expenditure, we can make an expenditure of revenue expenditure. Sir, उसके basis पे हमने कर दिया. Sir, what is the geo? Sir, geo तो हमने देखा ही नहीं. So right now things are getting transparent. So you'll find your geo in the PFS portal. You can go through it and get the actual geo. So now this information is now getting transparent. So if the information is transparent, I'll ask not only for the auditors, but for the financial persons who are dealing with the daily activities, even for their monitoring also, this geo is for get help. because the entire guidelines are given how to make each individual paisa expenditure, even how to, if it is not, the expenditure cannot be made, whether there is an liberation to make in other head, or it is to be given back to the funding agency. So sir, now this process has been taken care by government. Now government orders are being online, so no way we cannot say that the rules and guidelines are not there. Only on sunne ko hai, on basis of that we have been our audit. So go through this for anything internal control activity by the department, by the reporting authority, by the auditing agency, by the other agency. Everybody will have to get it through it. And there also they say that what is the amount, who will authorize it, and who will approve it. One is the authorization, one is the approval process. Means, see, whenever you have planned a DPR, say for a bridge plan, you have made the DPR, or say I am coming to a live example for SWM projects. For example, project you have prepared a DPR and you have a notion that this SWM project will have zero GST. Zero GST component in it because it is directly related to labor. So no GST involved. So enter 100 crores or 100 crores is for the funding and no GST involved. So you have made a DPR of 100 crores and it will produce to the government, and the government exchequer has already given you 100 crores. Now at the time of implementation, you find out that there is a verdict by the court that this work is to, if you doing this work through an agency, he has to be given a GST component of 18% if you do not take advance ruling. So now 18% out of the fund, then what should you do? Means whether you have to take 20 crores from your own fund, or you have to make an expenditure less than by 20%, 18% from the fund you have been allotted. So both way nothing is possible. Both way nothing is possible, because if you have made an expenditure of 82 crores, then you will be diversion of fund or underutilization of fund will be there. They will ask for you 18 crores to be given back. And or if you pay from your own pocket, then it is a huge expenditure which is going to come on you. And if you are taking from other fund, it is a diversion of fund. So any OLOG, it is bottleneckness that it is stuck in 3 parameters, 3 triangle. So what to do? So now you have to again revalue or take an approval for paying the payment, making the payment. That means whether government will give you 18 crores extra, or you should ask that, see, my total amount is this. So my total area was 100 kilometers. So due to my scarcity, I have to pay GST. So I have to do less by 18 lakhs, 18 crores. What? So you have, for this, don't do by your own self. If you do your own self, you are not doing the control activity. You should take the proper authorization and approval from the proper authority who is above you, who have given you the payment. So anything may come at any point of time. It is not your own judgment. If you make your own judgment, that is, control activity is not taken care of, because the fund is not yours. So say if you are making a payment from your general fund, it is the board. The board can make that decision. Many of the times when you come for the internal audit, we see that many of the government funding have been taken, decision have been taken by the board of councillors. See, this board of councillors can't take any decisions. Board of councillors can take a decision to that level, that whether for which ward the expenditure to be made. It is not that the nature, they cannot change the nature of expenditure. They cannot change the character of the funding. So for this, it is for internal control. It is that you must have a authorization and approval, because what we'll see, 100 crores is with you and you are making a payment of 100 crores. So sir, what is there? I have not made extra payment. I have not made less payment. Said that you have changed the entire characteristics of the payment, and you have also changed the category for which the payment has to be made. Means previously it was 100%, means 100 crores for, say, water project. Now you have made 82 for water project and 18 for the government exchequer's expenditure. So for this, you have to take prior approval, authorization from the authority. So information and communications must be there. Effective communication channel ensuring clear and timely communications. Many of the DPR, when sent to the higher authority for revision or for any other problem they are facing at the ground level, the clarity is missing. The clarity of the note sheet is missing. They say, sir, you have given 100 crores, we require 20 crores more. Why, sir? What? Why? Because say we are planning for a road and you have been allotted 100 crores for the road. Now at the road sub level, you are finding that the subsoil is very, very poor. Now, if the subsoil is very poor, you are going for a tender which says that the tenderer who gets the tender will have to maintain this road for 5 years. Means now all inclusive tenders are coming with the repair component in it. Means if you are creating this road, you have to have 5 years MIC with means maintenance with you hours, so that any problem coming out with the road will be taken care by you. No exchequer's money will be involved in that, and by that process you will be releasing your security deposit. All these tenders are right now which are seeing that it is a 5 years longevity tenders are being floated. See, if you are when you are just started the work, you find out that some of the place subsoil is very, very vulnerable. So if you want to have the proper road longevity for 5 years, macadam has to be placed to create that area, or some other treatment must be made on that area. That road is effective for 5 years. So if you want to make any treatment or have a macadam which is the highest value in the PWD schedule, so if you want to place that in their place, then the entire funding will be changed. Because 100 crores road, इसमें से if it is 15 crores been involved for this treatment, then whether you have to cut down your road size or you have to compromise your quality. Means you do not make any treatment of this road and you say whatever road is there you build up. Because 100 crores we have, DPR we have made with so many tough engineers involved. So अभी हमने time नहीं है, we don't have time, we don't have resources, we don't have anyone. So do whatever you like. Whether we will compromise in the quantity or quality, nothing. But don't do it. You make an effective communication. Because effective communication, you make clearly that why you require this amount of rupees. And if they say there is a funding contingency, they cannot make extra funding, but they allow you that you can cut short your length of the road, because this time they have no other amount funding, or they say that if any funding is available, we will intimate you after 6 months when the annual accounts or revised budget is placed, revised budget is placed, they can make a communication that if after the revised budget is in hand, we can say whether you can increase your amount or not. But whatever clear communication says, that means you afford of 15 meters of road and say till now we are working up to this. Within 6 months, you will take around 8 months to complete the job. Within 6 months in the revised budget, if the state government or the central government give you the amount, so it is you can do the work. So each and everything should be properly communicated, written and timely communicated. Many of the times क्या सर 3 साल के लिए पैसा आया सर, fixed deposit कर दिया. We are made a fixed deposit, enjoying the money of fixed deposit. 3 years का प्रोजेक्ट था, उसने 3 years का 1 करोड़ का रुपया आपको भेजे, आपने बोला नहीं सर अभी विल नॉट डू द वर्क, हम इसको फिक्स डिपॉजिट कर देते हैं. आप फिक्स डिपॉजिट के 3 साल बाद इंटरेस्ट आपने एंजॉय कर लिए, 3 साल के बाद आपने देखा वो पैसे में रोड इज नॉट गोइंग टू बी बिल्ड अप. Now you are communicating, sir, how can we build this road at rupees 1 crore? It requires 120 crores. Sir, this road money has been given to you to build up a road in X1. It is not to build up a road in X3. That means it a period of work was for the year 1, not year 3, and you are enjoying the interest. By the way, as the price has been devaluated, so all the price have been raised, so the cost is higher. So, sir, you have enjoyed the interest. So, what right now the government is saying, any funding interest is not your interest. If you are earning any funding interest, first of all, you cannot put your fund in any current savings account. You must put all your fund in the current account. So, अब जब current account रख दिए तो people are more intelligent. Current account के साथ स्विफ्ट अकाउंट जोड़ देते हैं. सर करेंट अकाउंट के साथ स्विफ्ट अकाउंट जोड़ दिया, करेंट अकाउंट से पैसा स्विफ्ट अकाउंट में चला गया, वहां से इंटरेस्ट इनकम कर रहा है, फिर बाद में करेंट अकाउंट पर फिर आ रहा है. So now that is also a diversion of fund. When the Geo says that you cannot put your money in other bank other than the current one, it should be and should only be in a current account. Do not divert that amount from the current account to a SWIFT account savings scheme. And if you are earning an interest, it is very clear. If you are earning any interest from any of the funding grant funds, interest is of the exchequers, not yours. That means that वो interest आपके साथ जोड़ा जाएगा, फिर वो लोग आप वापस लिया जाएगा. So no use. So do the job when you are getting the fund and in the year for which it has been allocated. So this is the transparency and information discrepancy. That is, what is the discrepancy? Year 1 को year 3 बना दिया. So now everything is online, sir. अभी everything is 3D. After Ola Uber coming into effect, sir, everything comes into 3D. If you want to see the progress of your work, now you don't have to go through the MB books. You have to open your laptop and see the pictures taken the day before, with the underlying GPRS connectivity in that. Because whenever it is required that you are saying that what is the amount of what amount involved rupee, you know, from the accounts, but what is the updations or what is the status of the work, previously you have to go through the MB book. This MB book used to be completed at the time of RA bill preparation. So real-time status of the work was a work of the mouth. कोई आके बोल देता सर इतना हुआ है. It does not have any official documentary proof. Right now it has a documentary proof because it is taken electronically. They are taking pictures, they are taking 3D, their X-ray pictures are being taken with the GPRS connectivity, and it is transferred like the housing for all projects. Each and each housing project, each and each engineer involved, each day they have to say, take a picture of the means the progress of the work, upload with the GPS connectivity. Means anybody lying in sitting in the top, just open up the map and see the based on the coloring procedure, they can only identify what is the progress of the work. So they can even reconcile between the progress of the work and the payment of the work. So now transparency is a watchword and information is also available. For monitoring, continuous monitoring, public finance management system is there, working efficiency, you must control and effectively go through it. Periodic control is that formal review of internal correctness and internal audit department in ministries. So internal audit of can be your own departmental store, own departmental officers, or even it can be hired from agencies also. So whatever, this should have a periodic testing, whether it is a monthly, whether it is a quarterly, not more than quarterly internal audit report is more effective. The period must not be more than 3 months older. Means maximum max stretch is that to take a audit report, internal audit report quarterly basis. But more than that, then statutory auditor is then only this internal audit is only of the formalities. If you want to have effective use of the internal audit, and see one thing, many of the people working in our field as a chartered accountant was acknowledged, they think that internal audit, they will identify the problem. No, internal audit is not only identify the problem, they also give the solutions, and for the next quarter they have to make a that they may follow up that whether the suggestion they has given in the previous report, whether that has been followed or implemented. If followed, implemented, then to give the review, they good, they have implemented and this is the result. And if they have not followed, the reason to be noted, why they have not followed. What is the barrier which are not allowing them to follow this procedure? It is not that only wastage of paper internal audit report is there. Whenever you open this internal audit report, quarterly, each report is in copy and paste with the period change. And many of the times to make it very crispy and crunchy, we head-wise define kar dete. Kabhi ye department, kabhi wo department, change only the department. But the main frame is same. Then what is the use of periodic evaluation? Internal audit is nothing but an evaluation. So main is that internal audit is not only a compliance. See, internal auditor is a part of your own body, whether it is you own or your own, whether it is your own department or your hiring agency. But the agreement between the internal auditor is that they will work totally for you and it will be benefit for your department only. So now, role of technology. सर सब जगह में जाते हैं तो वही एक ही बात जो है टेक्नो 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 टेक्नोक्रेट से अभी टेक्नोलॉजी हो गया सर. पहले सब जगह में टेक्नोक्रेट 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 होता था, अभी टेक्नोलॉजी टेक्नोलॉजी टेक्नोलॉजी. Even the past presidents is also saying technology technology technology. So yes, we must acknowledge the, because due to this technology many of the transparency can be effectively taken into place. But sir, one thing, garbage in, garbage out. Technology is only an interface. If your intention of the top level is not to have a improper internal control, even the technology will not be of effective use. So the main thing we see that in every day in GST, the major technological effect of this technology implementation of the government sector. But we see law is working in one field, site is working in one field, and we are working in one field. माने हम दो, we people consultant, we बीच रास्तों कहाँ से, जहाँ डिपार्टमेंट बोल लॉ बता रहा है और जो साइड बता रहा है उसमें गैप खोज के उसी से हम लोग निकल रहे हैं. So this is not the way. You start your technology is a small way. You pilot project, start with a pilot project. You implement that pilot project. Get it, make it very simple at the primary. Sir, introduction of Tally. अब Tally को ही देख लीजिए sir. All people are using Tally because it was user friendly and it was free to use. जो चाहा download किया, Tally चालू. And now what they have done? Audit trail भी Tally में. सर अभी जो ऑडिट ऑलरेडी टैली में है वो कहीं नहीं जा सकता ऑलरेडी. सो दे आर बाउंड टू टेक ऑडिट ट्रेल. सो सर अभी कंट्रोल लाया ना, अभी 5 साल 10 साल के बाद कंट्रोल आया, लेकिन पहले जबरदस्त यूज किया टैली का. जब चाहे डाटा यूज डिलीट किया, जब चाहे एंट्री किया. सर उसको यूज करते करते वी आर वेरी इन ए कंफर्ट जोन. नाउ ये क्या आया सर, वर्जन आया, ERP आया, नाउ ऑडिट ट्रेल आया, अभी क्लाउड आया, अभी क्या क्या आने वाला है हम लोग नहीं जानते. तो दैट इज द वे टू मेक एनी टेक्नोलॉजिकली इफेक्टिव. फ्रॉम द वेरी फर्स्ट, इफ यू मेक इट वेरी एग्जॉस्टिव और वेरी cumbersome, nobody will try it, everybody will avoid it. So make technology to the easiest form and try to capture data, make them educate and then leverage. Then each and each data which you have taken, analyze it. सर अभी GST में पूरा इतना बड़ा डाटा हो गया, अभी डाटा को एनालाइज करने के लिए अभी दे आर थिंकिंग हाउ टू एनालाइज इतना डाटा. सर इतना डाटा लिया क्यों जब उसको काम में ही नहीं आएगा. सर टेक दैट मच ऑफ डाटा, बाद में जोड़ते जाइए डाटा को. पहले से ही आप इतने सारे को जोड़ेंगे तो बाद में आपको when some data is not in use, you will have no effect. Like classic example is many of the state are using softwares for this government sectors, especially for urban local body. They are having functionaries, sub-functionaries. So they are making a code of 14 times. Coding has been made with that 14 digit. So they are making, now see 7 are ineffective. 7 is always standing 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So what is the use? So first you implement 4 or 5 like the Panchayat. Panchayat has made it very easy. 4 or 5 code, you make it, your payment is made, your asset is being created, then we'll see. So Panchayat, they have made only a small information they are taking at the Panchayat level. By that, they are creating the asset table itself. So people are easy, no training as such is required. Nobody is, no human cry. Sir, kaise karenge? No backlog, because it is very easy to handle. So technology, we have to implement it, no second thought. But for technology, we must think that अभी से Apple मत खड़ा कीजिए. सर थोड़ा एप्पल मत खड़ा कीजिए, छोटा छोटा कीजिए, टैली को खड़ा कीजिए. टैली जैसे, नॉट टेकिंग एनी एग्जांपल, बट इट इज एग्जांपल कमिंग बाय हार्ट. जैसे हम लोग अलमारी बोलते ही गॉडरेज आ जाता है, तो फाइनेंशियल सॉफ्टवेयर से ही टैली आ जाता है हम लोग को. सो जैसे सर यूजर फ्रेंडली कीजिए और लीवरेज ऑफ डाटा को दीजिए, फर्स्ट इंडिपेंडेंसी दीजिए, देन यू मेक इट हैपन. सर अभी तो हम लोग सब कुछ आधार वेरीफाई करते हैं, एवरीथिंग आर मेकिंग आधार वेरीफाइड. सर एक थिंग क्या है, उसमें एक फोन नंबर ही है ना. आधार इज ओनली अ कंपनी विथ ए फोन नंबर. अगर जिसके पास आधार में फोन नंबर नहीं है, वो अपना कोई भी काम आधार वेरीफाइड नहीं कर सकते. सो इट इज वेरी इजी. अभी पिन का भी है, डोंट मेक वेरी कम्बरसन. सर यूजर फ्रेंडली, मेक इट यूजर फ्रेंडली. सर प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना, स्टडी केस, सक्सेसफुल इम्प्लीमेंटेशंस, फिनेंशियल इंक्लूजन से क्या, व्हाट वाज द प्रोसेस प्रधानमंत्री जन धन योजना. सर फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल क्या बोले सर सबको, जीरो बैलेंस अकाउंट. पहले बोले सर जीरो बैलेंस अकाउंट. सर सबको लगा अच्छा ठीक है, जीरो बैलेंस मतलब कुछ भी पैसा नहीं देने के बैंक अकाउंट ओपन हो जाएगा. अब बैंक मैनेजर वेरी अनॉयड, सब आ जाए लाइन में, सर सब जीरो बैलेंस, आके खाता खोल रहा है, कुछ भी पैसा नहीं दे रहा है. आफ्टर 2 or 3 years गवर्नमेंट थॉट दैट इसको थोड़ा पीपल को इनकरेज किया जाए. व्हाट दे हैव गिवन, इंश्योरेंस 303 and 26 or 23 rupees. प्रधान ये अटल बिहारी, अटल इंश्योरेंस, 2 इंश्योरेंस दिया था इन लोगों को. those who have this Chandhan प्रधानमंत्री योजना बैंक, before the bank account they will get this 2 इंश्योरेंस. अभी लोगों को लगा कि सर to get that insurance, वो भी एनी टाइम इट विल बी डिडक्टेड फ्रॉम द बैंक. सो याद नहीं रहेगा सर, 400 रख देते, 500 rupees we must keep in the bank account, because whenever if we don't keep 500 in our bank account, so any of the insurance payment is getting hit, so we will not get them. So the insurance will be abolished, or it will be getting defective, because any of the medical insurance, if it is not paid yearly, it will be not in effective, and after certain age you cannot even open that funding account. So everybody was aware. So minimum 500 rupees was there. So bank account becoming operative means people are now getting encouraged to come and keep money in the bank. उसके बाद तो सर डिमोनेटाइजेशन आया, भर भर के लोगों ने अपना पैसा बैंक में रखा. तो आफ्टर दैट जिसने बैड इंटेंशन के साथ उस अकाउंट को क्रिएट किया था, उसका अकाउंट फ्रीज हो गया. क्योंकि जनधन में क्या थे, 50 लाख के ऊपर, 50,000 के ऊपर मेरा इनकम नहीं है, 50,000 के नीचे मेरा इनकम है, उसके लिए मेरा जनधन अकाउंट है. तो अभी एवरीथिंग, सो इफ योर अकाउंट इज गेटिंग ब्लॉक, यू आर नॉट गेटिंग उजाला. पहले इस अकाउंट से क्या होता है, सब सब्सिडी ये अकाउंट में ही आएगा. ये बैंक अकाउंट जो किए हैं, इसमें जो भी अपना उजाला कीजिए, कोई भी सब्सिडी हो, आपका राशन सब्सिडी हो, पेट्रोल सब्सिडी हो, केरोसिन सब्सिडी हो, everything will come to your bank account directly, seamlessly processed. Even right now, whenever you are booking a gas, your automatic subsidy comes to your any bank account. So for the people who are not privileged, their bank account was not operative because they are not eager, because they are a single man earning a day, not eager to go to the bank in the banking hours, and not even adequate with the knowledge how to operate a bank account. So they were much familiar with the persons who are daily collecting from their own spot, and जब भी इनसे पैसा लगता था, ये लोग taken as a loan. So this local vendor or local banking system comes into effectively, other than the banking, which was our main banking system of the country. So give them inclusion whenever you are getting any subsidy. Say हम लोग का दीदी का 500 रुपया हो, 1000 रुपया हो, लक्की भंडार. So people goes to the bank and sees whether the monthly 500 rupees have been incorporated in my bank or not. So by the way, people are getting adequate with the banking operations. Even I have in the time of doing a rural branch audit, I have seen that people does not know how to operate the system. Hearing the sound, they now are they in a position to operate this passbook printing and balance checking machines operations. So this impact was that enhanced transparency through direct benefit transfer, reduce leakage and increase financial access to underprivileged populations. मीन्स जो लोग बैंक नहीं आते थे अभी बैंक आते हैं. अभी बैंक का क्या मुद्रा लोन आ गया, स्टूडेंट लोन आ गया. So when bank is giving loan to this Jan Dhan Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana bank account holders, so they are getting adequately encouraged to having knowledge of this and using this properly. So sir, main thing sir हम लोग खुद से, main challenge is our himself. That is department and itself is the challenge. क्योंकि सर resource limitations है. So what is the resource? Budget constraints है, proper data नहीं है, proper data जो है उसके साथ actual figure match नहीं करते. Field level inspection report is very old and lack of skilled personals. Means हम लोग का budget जो है सर, हम लोग को urban local body, what do you understand by budget? I regularly say in my classes in ATI, budget for this government sector is nothing but a bunch of papers accompany the big pack of good sweet. क्योंकि budget meeting में हमेशा sweet packet बड़ा आता है, हमेशा बड़ा. It makes a bigger sweet packet than any other meeting in any of the urban local bodies. So they do not go through the budget page by page. Budget papers are only distributed at the time they are coming for the budget meeting, not circulated properly to the persons who are going to take it considering. After getting to the budget papers in their hand, after the budget meeting, they will straight come forward to the chairman or the chairperson and ask, sir, what is the amount you are going to give to my ward? Holding the budget paper in their own hand. That means not they realize what they are holding or not they bother what is there in the budget. Nothing in it. Because we are all eager, sir, our budget itna flavor kyun means losing the flavor. Why it is losing the flavor? Because previously, which product is to be getting decreased, excise duty is going to be decreased, which product excise duty is going to be risen is the main attraction for people at large to look at the budget. So for a urban local budget, nobody is interested. Even the councillors are not interested because they know if I can bargain well, I will get my budget well. It is nothing to do with the budget. If I can bargain with the chairpersons good, then my budget will, my area be good. That is the only thing. They will not come and bargain in the budget session. Not even they will say a single word for the budget, whether it is good, bad, very bad, not implemented, not good, nothing. They will just take it to their home and they will keep it aside. So this is one of the, because they think that this budget is not drafted properly, even not the database has been taken. Some of the learned councillors will come and say, sir, ये क्या budget हुआ? What they are saying? ये किसका budget है? किसका ward है? They are giving me, sir, because we must be very good in our budget. See, sir, money for daily workers are coming to a city like Salt Lake or Newtown, where you will get the beneficiary. Say what you did, you'd given all the state, all the district same amount of daily rated workers payment. So it is of no use because you do not have your daily labor in your area. That means if you have been given a fund for any your asset creation, that will be much better than a revenue for giving daily rated wages. Then another is the complexity of the process. Due to the educational background of the majority of the councillors of the panchayats, they said ये प्रोसेस हम लोगों को समझ में नहीं आती, आप क्या बोलते हैं, तो आप लोग समझो मेरा कितना पैसा आता है बोलिए, मेरा वार्ड में क्या करना है बोलिए, बस दिस इज द 2 words, nothing more, nothing less. And if we come to them, they said, what your revenue earning is less from your ward. बोलेगा सर वी हैव टू ओन बाय योर वोट, आप लोगों को तो वोट नहीं चाहिए, हम लोग को वोट चाहिए जीतने के लिए. So we cannot go further into it because we cannot ask for money for the property tax, trade license. It is your job, sir, officers' job. Your officers will do that. Councillors will not ask for any of this because we have to ask for vote. So this is the officers' job. It is done by the officers only. Expenditure is with us. We'll make the expenditure. You just say what is the amount you are allocating to me. So this is a challenge for internal control and budget is concerned. Just for it, yeah. So there are challenges, but how to overcome the challenge? So training and development, educating staff on the importance of internal control. There are many training institutes. Premier institute is Indian Institute of Public Administration, which is for the government officers. Change management strategies. You have to change the way it was running. You have to change the format. You have to change the forms and the certain things that automatically controls are being effective. Simplification process, I have said, make it very simple. Streaming control to make them more manageable. Don't make very complex. What is the role of internal auditors? Ensuring compliance, evaluating control effectiveness, and recommending improvement. First two words are being taken care by the internal auditors, but recommendation for improvement and their effective use is the buzzword of the role of the internal auditors. If the internal auditors cannot suggest anything which is practically implementable, then the entire internal audit process is of no use. Because internal control, they will find out the gap, and if the gap persists day in and day out for a long period, then there's no effectiveness of internal auditors report. Because you have to first tell them that what is the requirement of internal auditors, then what is the benefit they will be getting after they are employed internal auditors, and what are the bottleneckness they are facing right now handling these internal auditors. So this will give them this is a role, interpreted role. They have to think that internal auditors are a part of our management, and internal auditors also must have the knowledge of wearing the cap of an accountant, not of an auditor, because major role of an internal auditor is basically majorly of an accountant, more knowledgeable accountant who is guiding the department or government. So both reconciliation is required. Providing independent assessment and fostering a culture of accountability. That is, you have to give your own independent assessment, not going by the majorly. When audit comes, we'll see that two sets of people are coming to you automatically. One people will come and praise the administration. They will say, "Itna acha administrator koi nahi tha. He is going very good. Everyone is very good. Our are every maintained very meticulously." Another set of people are coming and say that everything is bad here. Everything is wrong here. So it is a natural habitat of the people at large. Whenever an auditor comes, some people with अपना knowledge sharing will come to you. अपना दुख बांटने आ जाएंगे, और नहीं तो आपको ऐसा लगेगा उसके जैसा दोस्त मिलेगा कहीं नहीं. So, but don't be independent. Be independent of your assessment. Don't be emotionally attached with any of the persons or any of your assignment. कि लगे कि ना ये तो गलती हो रहा है. You go out to your notions. No, you go by the step, by the SOP, what the rules say, and the procedure it been said. My classic example of auditing when I failed in my auditing was in my articleship days. I have gone for a big PSU's audit with my principal with a big batch. That time there we have to stay for 1.5 months, 3 months. So in that going team, not my principal, my CA in charge told me go through the back papers properly before joining the audit. We were in a team, enjoying the team atmosphere in the train, never bothered to read the previous audit report or anything. We only going there, jumped into the audit, and we are the auditor. So nobody knows much better than us. Even they may be triple qualified, but as a assistant, we are the very good. Means article, we are very good because we are the auditors. So I come with the pages filled up, writing out that some payment was made from 15th of March. Payment for 15th of March was booked as a expenditure from 1st of April. This all is prior period item. This should be prior period item. So I read pages after pages. After 15 days, once I reported, say, what is the finding? I say, sir, I roam about all the departments and I find out so many prior period items because 15th of March payment is being made this year and they are making it as the expenditure of this year. Sir, so many expenditure, big report. That was told, just go and throw it in the dustbin. Says, sir, I have put so much of labor in it and finding each and sir, you have find out garbage because you have not read the accounting policies. Accounting policies of the PSU says as the closing of the year is on 31st March and they have to produce the 15th of April. So cutoff date is 15th of March. So any payment after 15th of March will be considered to be payment of the next year. So this has been clearly written in the accounting policies. Now you are writing something which has already been given in their accounting policy. So what the use of this? I cannot know. I cannot report because the accounting policy says that 15th of March is the cut-off the date of any of the expenditure. So, sir, you must report, see the previous report, go through the accounts. Even different type of culture exists for different type of accountability. See, another classic example are coming out. Sir, I have gone for forest audit in the West Bengal Forest Department. In the time of statutory audit, I found that there is a liters and liters, thousand that time expenditure on Fevicol. On the first notion, it came to my mind that what Fevicol in this quantity does in a forest. So as that was my internal audit, not statutory, internal audit. So internal auditor, I pointed out and I quantify this is the amount of liters of Fevicol which is being purchased because I do not know what is the use of this. Because in forest, what happens, the forest office is in the plain area and the forest plantations are high up. These plantations and fielding, the plantation is on the higher ups. So the people who are they're not so literate about the finance, they only get the vouchers of this Fevicol and they vouch it for accounting. I asked them their use. They say, sir, we are accounts person. We don't know the use. The person in charge is the DM. They call it the DM. DM signs the voucher, sends to us, we make the payment. DM is equivalent to the IS officers, who is the forest IS officer. So in the evening, at the time of playing tennis, he came to the report and saw that I have given a note of this Fevicol. So he asked me in his bungalow and told that you have made a comment on this Fevicol. Do you know why this Fevicol has been used? I told, sir, on my notion, I cannot find any parity of any logic why gallons and gallons of Fevicol have been brought. So he said, yes, chap, get ready in the morning, 5 o'clock, we'll go to the plantation morning. So in the plantation, what he showed me that whenever the logs are cut, kept for drying, the log at the end cracks. To prevent it from cracking, what they do, they pile the Fevicol with the wood dust and put as a cap on every log. So see, that is the culture. That is not comes directly, because if you don't involve into their operations, you cannot find out how in apparently what it sees. It sees a Fevicol of this amount, maybe a red flag. But when you understand their procedure, operating procedure, or the field of culture of accounting, you'll find out the why they are being used. So you must have, for internal auditor, must understand first and first must understand the business, understand the operation, understand the circumstances of the organization they are doing the internal audit. Public participation, you can see that now citizen chartered is one of the things that you have to give. Even the budget is one of public participations. What the budget says that what is the amount being made in expenditure of your area, and now everything is open to public, as public will have can give their comments. Channel for public input and complaints there. TV channels are there, media channels are there, other social activities are activists are there. They can put up their public participation. Ethical consideration, it is only that ethical behavior and addressing ethical dilemmas are the consideration. Addressing conflict of interest, policy and procedures to manage conflict of interest. If there is a conflict of interest, you see which is the ethical part. Ethical cannot be a conflict of interest of any other procedures. So if there is, you must address the conflict of interest. There are other acts also, local act and local act is there. And you must go through the legal and regulatory affairs, which is the Companies Act or any other law coming into that play, even the Municipal Act, even the Panchayat Act, legal and regulatory standard, compliance requirement. Effectives, another one is the KPI. You have to prepare the KPI. Matrix of evident control effectiveness. What is the key performance indicators? Because in a tabular form, if you can draw which are the key performing indicators, and you can mark out whether this key performing indicator by a tick only, whether it is perform or not perform or not perform, and then you can make an overall performance by allocating certain marks to the key performance indicators, and then you can make a percentage that what is the actual percentage of performance of each department regarding key performance indicator. Technique of addressing performance, that is audit of the Controller General is there. Continuous improvement, learning from the past experience, using feedback lessons, learning to improve control, adapt to new challenges, staying responsive and involving risks and challenges in the environment, continuously improve कर सकते हैं. Future trends, emerging technologies को लेना ही पड़ेगा आपको. What are the impact of AI, blockchain and technologies of internal controls? Sir, AI कहाँ तक लेके जाएगा? We do not know. Whether it will leave us with anything to be done in ourselves or not, AI will do everything. But when everything comes, when blockchain came, we thought that banking will be entirely controlled by blockchain. No people will be required at the bankers level. No bankers, nothing is required. Only blockchain will take care. And nothing of that such has happened, because it will fasten the work. It will give us the data in a refined way. But logic is ours. We have to keep our logics open. So then we have to evolve standards and practice, because two standard and practice cannot be same for two organizations. So you can have to change the standard and practices for different organizations. Global perspective, best practices ले लीजिए कहीं का, वो implement करना चालू कीजिए. International standard कीजिए, global standard. So we are local, global, looking global, acting local. So all local acts should be framed in a global standard. So this is a thing, and in this is the conclusion, key points, recap. So internal control are essence of enhancing transparency and accountability in the government sectors. They ensure efficient operations, safeguard public assets, and comply with regulations. Final thought, strengthen internal control in crucial in fostering trust, reducing corruption, improving governance in India. So open to the floor. I don't think audience are allowed to take questions. I think they can give.
There are some questions in chat box, Sumanji.
Yeah, yeah, you can.
Yeah. One question is in regard to general financial rules, GFRs.
Hmm.
So one participant wish to know the role of GFR in internal control in government sector.
Roller.
GFR, General Financial Rules.
Sir, any rules and procedures is effective for that organization you are doing the audit. So you must first go through the rules and everything. So rules will say the format and the forms through which the recording or all the documents to be made. And the act will say that which act means how you have to act on it. So everything has a comply. So internal audit is not that a thing of a isolated thing is not through law. It is also that just statutory auditors have to give their opinion, but internal auditor have to give their recommendation. This is the basic rule. For following the rules and the act, statutory will give their opinion whether it is a true or fair, it is not a true and fair. But as an internal auditor, you will give a recommendation how to be on the line on the track.
Yeah, thank you. And one question is regard to effective communication. How to make a communication effective in case of checking of internal control or audit.
All right. So I get it. See, many of the times is that whenever you are going for an audit in a place where your team does not have any local language persons with you.
Yes.
One is that you are going because this urban local body, panchayat, these are the remote areas. So they are not bound to know English when you are going as an auditor. You आपको that's why local language makes a vital role in auditing of this. मान लीजिए आप मधुबन में आप ऑडिट कर रहे हो और आपको हिंदी पढ़ना भी नहीं आता और हिंदी आप यू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड हिंदी सो आपका हालत क्या होगा आप तो भाग के वहां से आ जाएंगे क्योंकि यू कैन नॉट अंडरस्टैंड ए पेपर रिटन बाय देम or even you cannot understand the language. So this communications is a major part because you are asking something, they are saying something. On that basis, you are reporting something which is standing up nothing. So not to be made on that basis, your team, that is the internal audit is that you must have specified specialist with you. Not only internal auditor should have a language domicile, they must also engineer in their team. They must also have a proper technical person in their team if they have to make a proper internal audit report, because it is regularly doing with the regular activity. It is not only the financial part. Many of us we just misunderstand, and even we are meant to misunderstand that you as an internal auditor will only look after the financial books and accounts. You are not going to interfere into the tenders. You are not going to interfere into the whether the work has been done, whether any investigation report or the quality report. You are here, internal auditor. You look whether my voucher has been prepared, whether they have been put up in the books, whether PVRS is been prepared, stock is there, stock book is there, valuation is there, blah 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 blah. Only, but no. Internal auditor appointment restricts us to do only accounting. But as a whole, if it is part of an internal audit, then you must understand their business. You must go in depth to suggest them. So language is a problem not only by the vocational language, it is also the language is writing into, because the engineering language is different from the accounting language. So language is a vital role in that. Okay.
Thank you. Sumanji, you talked about centralized library of government orders.
Yes.
So
yeah, you can search of any of the 15 finance, 16 finance, 10 finance. They have given everything in their sites. Every site is available. Even they have sale for the panchayats also in the site. Or you are going for audit, IFMS is there. From the IFMS, you can find all the records, everything, because that password is lying with the finance officer or the person who is monitoring the accounts over there.
So all these governments are orders are available, easily available on the all the department sites or a centralized site?
No, there. See, for the finance, there are finance site. For the finance, it is the finance site. Each individual grant wise is also available in the grant site. If it is not on the grant site, you say state government has given some fund to individually. They have no other sites. But in at when the time of disbursing this fund, IFMS is showing that what is the government order underlying with it.
Okay.
So they must have with them the order, government order. Previously used to say, sir, mere paas nahi aaya. I do not know the government order. So now they can't say that we do not have the government order. If it is not there, they can write up to the upper authority. They will send it immediately to the orders. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other?
I think other questions has been already explained by you in the deliberations.
Yes.
So, Nisaji, we can finish. You can. So we can go for formal vote of thanks. Thanks to C.S. Suman Chaudhary for the effective deliberation on the topic. It was a nice presentation. Thank you so much, sir. I think we can conclude the webinar.
Thank you, Naveen. Thank you for department, and thank you all the participants who have made that time for me. Thank you. We'll meet the catch up for the day. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.